Sanibonani Dumalang, hello, it is Simply Spissa here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it has been a minute, it's been like probably 6 months since my last video, and a lot of people have been asking me what's happening, why aren't you uploading, when are you coming back, and so I'm here and we're gonna discuss all of that. But before we get into it, if you are not yet subscribed for whatever reason, I'm not judging, but do the right thing. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload the next video, which I promise will not be 6 months from now. It'll be coming soon. And also, if there is a question that you have that wasn't answered, or it wasn't that I didn't cover in this video, feel free to leave it in the comment section down below and I will address it in another video some other day. But yeah, so let us just get into this video now. We've done the formalities. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys have been good. Like, hold up, excuse me. Like, I know the last video I put up before this one was called my last vlog as a 4th year medical student, and the irony of that being my last vlog for like the longest time, like someone was even saying people might think you failed something. Let me just clarify, I have not failed. I am a 5th year medical student, and I think the first question that that I've been getting a lot is, what happened? Why did I stop making videos? And I think I did sort of address that in like a podcast episode I released earlier this year. But just to, basically what happened was, I don't know, I just felt like I needed a break. I was listening to the Traveling Hood of Esmgogo podcast, yeah. And they were talking about how they took a break from their podcast and social media, and just a break from being perceived from people, and how that was very much needed. And I think I really much needed that break, because even if you check on social media, I wasn't really active. Not only was I not posting, but I wasn't like interactive. I wasn't liking posts. I wasn't on the site, except for my secret accounts, but that doesn't count. So yeah, I just felt like I needed a break. And also, like, I went through like a really bad breakup, which I discussed on the podcast link down below if you want to check that out. And just also I think also the adjustment from 4th year to 5th year was, I don't know, it's a little rocky. I don't want to say rocky, what's the word? But I think the workload and the expectations and the pressure that I just felt that I felt this was so much. I just felt like I could not do the YouTube thing and be a student, and the main thing is, this channel, I want it to be, fun. Like, it has to be fun for me. Like, it shouldn't feel like a chore, because if I'm not enjoying it, then also I feel like that energy also translates to the viewers. And so I hope that satisfies, or I think it answers the people who were wondering what was going on. And so let us get into some of the questions. So yeah, I posted on Instagram like that Q&A box thing. I got some questions, and so I've just, like, some of the questions were very similar, so I've picked a few which I will go through for today's video. So yeah, there's a question here: what is your favorite medical term you learned about so far in 2022? So I feel like this year, as I was saying, from 4th year to 5th year, I feel like there is a bit of a gap in terms of the expectations. I do feel like I'm still playing catch up because of the pandemic, right? I think the pandemic, not to blame fully on the pandemic and say it, but I think also me, myself, I had a very laid back attitude when it comes to learning, because 2020 was completely online, and let's not forget, there was those 7 months where, was it 7 months? Well, there was those months where no learning was happening at my university, right? And so I think that did also influence my mindset of learning. And also, last year we were going on and off, I think. So now this year, I felt like in some ways I was still playing catch up, but also I feel like a lot of things now are starting to make sense. Like, I've learned so much. Like, I feel like it'd be hard for me to pick one term or one concept, but I was thinking maybe I can just give a brief rundown of how 4th year has been so far. So I'm currently doing my 3rd block, surgery. Before that, I was doing internal medicine, and before that, I was doing the combined block. So combined block was anesthesiology, ENT, ophthalmology, and we had like a week of family medicine presentations. And so let's talk about combined. So combined block, I enjoyed ophthalmology, thoroughly enjoyed ophthalmology and anesthesiology. ENT, it's not for me. I have my reasons. We're not going to go into it. And then the family medicine presentations, it was just, yeah, it was fine. And then internal medicine. So if you watched my internal med vlog from last year, you'll know that I did not particularly enjoy my time in internal medicine. But I can say this year it was definitely much different. I think it's also, I think my approach. I think I also knew how to approach the syllabus. I think even the expectations of me, I knew. And I think even the doctors that were assigned, like the unit I was in, I think the doctors we had were very nice, very approachable, and even doctors who weren't even in my unit, right? I get assistance from them, and I think that really helped for me to enjoy the block. Like I understood the work. I mean, the pressure was a lot. Not gonna lie, there was a lot of pressure, a lot of work, but yeah, honestly, like right now I'm in surgery, cannot wait for this block to end. Like I literally, I've been missing internal medicine since we started with surgery. The only problem is like now I'm currently going to week 5 of surgery, and when it comes to like the content, like I feel like I'm not ready to write that end of block exam. Like we had a class test like a week ago, and we have another one coming up. That first class test, it went well. This next one, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen. But yeah, like that did not answer the question at all. But I hope you found that little tangent entertaining. So the next question, which I think just while we're on this note, how are you coping with 5th year so far? And then in parentheses they put I'm not. The short answer is I'm also not, girl. Girl, I'm not coping either. But I think what has helped me is knowing, I think just talking to other people, like talking to my classmates, and having friends that I can like vent about, complain to, like if something's don't go my way, has been really helpful in terms of coping. Having a support system, right? Having someone also who sort of keeps you accountable in terms of doing the work and showing up at the hospital, because the reality is if you don't, if you could stay in your room for an entire block, and unless someone like the doctors at the hospital aren't gonna go looking for you, right? And so you need that immediate people who are also in it with you. I think just knowing that also you're not the only one who's feeling that way has been really helpful for me, just comforting to know, okay, I'm not crazy, or I'm not too sensitive, or because I think sometimes we look at other people and we think that, oh my gosh, this person, how are they coping, how are they able to wake up in the morning, study, show up on time to the hospital. Like I know a lot of people look at me as like the model student, because a lot of, like I do my best to attend all classes, attend the ward rounds, be on time. And even like when we have classes, right, people always like, how are you able to answer the questions, Wade? And it's like I don't know, like people look to me and think I'm doing the most, whereas I feel like I'm not doing enough. And I think it's just, I wish I had a better answer. That's the honest answer. There's no way I can just maybe put it in a neat bow and say these are the 5 steps to cope with 5th year. It's just taking it each day at a time, having a support system. And I think that brings us on to another question, which is like, what keeps you going? I think what has kept me going is the little things. Like as you can see behind me, right? You can see these are posters of K-pop idols. This is Blackpink. These are ATEEZ members, and that is BTS. And like if you know me, you know that I love K-pop, and literally it's something that brings me joy, right? Just having listening to the music, watching the content, like the concerts or the interviews or the variety shows, having these little things that I look forward to, and at the end of the day, right, looking for, like, my favorite artists gonna release music, even like outside K-pop, and having TV shows that I like, books that I like reading. It's just, I think, having these little hobbies, these little things that you can do every day. Because I would tell myself like every single day I need to do at least one thing that I enjoy, at least one. I know I'm holding 2 fingers. One thing that brings me joy, and I think that's what helps keep me going. But also, I think like having a relationship with my family. Like I think as all families, there's tension, there's issues, there's drama, whatever it might be. But knowing that, no matter what, like, if I want to go home, I can go home. Like, I have that privilege at home. It's not too far that, that I can't go for a weekend. I know that's not possible for some people. And so I think even going back to what I said about coping, like, having friends, those, like, sometimes, I feel like having like someone who you are sort of accountable to. Sometimes I'm pushing myself, not for my sake, but for the other person. Like sometimes it's like, you know what, I'm like, okay, you know, I need to keep studying, I need to do well for my parents' sake. Or it's like I need to show up at the hospital for, you know, my friend who's in my unit, you know, who, you know, we promised we're gonna go clear a page together, so I need to show up. I think it's those things, and also having like hobbies and stuff that bring you joy, that keeps me going. Which brings us on to the next question, which is, how do you balance med school and actually having a life? And the short answer is, I don't. There is no balance. Balance is overrated. I think it's just, I've made peace with the fact that, you know, I think it's all about looking. Maybe you should redefine what balance is. You know, I think, you know, there was a point in my life where balance meant, you know, studying Monday to Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday, I'm just chilling, living my best life, and then Sunday, I'm preparing for the upcoming week, right? But now I feel like with the way fifth year goes, like the schedule, it's so dynamic. Like it's even, I think one of the most frustrating things is it's so hard to make plans, even because you might make plans and then you find out, oh wait, I'm actually like I'm on call that week. Like you find like, you know, you make plans like now in May, right? Maybe make plans for July or for a certain date, and then the call roster comes in, you know, close to that. You find, oh no, I'm actually on call on this day. Or you find that, oh no, like, because you don't know what rotation you'll be doing then. So maybe then you find when you get there that actually I need to spend more time studying. So it's really, I think it's just like looking at everything a day at a time, and doing what needs to be done. Looking at, okay, you know, like for example, if I have an upcoming test, right? Like I have a test coming now. Like I'll be honest, the past few days I've not been studying, but I know that, okay, when the as the days get closer, then, you know, it'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, you know what, I have to study, and I'll have to, like, other things will have to sort of take a back seat. But not to say that they take a back seat forever, because I think this is what I struggle with, and I think this is like this question. That's why I'm like, there's no balance, because I feel like I'm always on between two extremes. On one end, I'll be studying, going to class, like almost to the point of burnout, right? And then what happens is, then I end up being on the other extreme end where like I don't go to class. I'm not studying, and that's actually what recently sort of happened. Like there was a traumatic event that happened to me, and so I had to take like 3 days off. Like my own family doesn't even know about what happened. But if you want to know about what happened, I do talk about it in the podcast. And so I think it's just, you know, like when that traumatic situation happened, you know, for that, while I was dealing with it, processing it, I just had to be like, you know what, I need to take a step back from med school. I need to take a step back from studying and focus on me, focus on my mental health. Because if I do try to push myself in this moment, in the long run, it's gonna affect me negatively. I think that's maybe the mindset change. You know, I don't think there's a way to get like the perfect work-life balance, but I think it's also, you know, the way I look at it now is I don't try to manage my time, but I also try to manage my energy, right? Because there will be days when my energy levels are really low, where it's like I barely have energy to even be a human being, let alone be a medical student. And so it's like on those, like, you know what, today I'm gonna take the time to recharge, maybe take a break from the studying. But I find that when I do that, the next day I'm able to be a lot more productive than if I try to force myself like every single day I need to study, need to study, need to study. But also I feel like there's a lot of nuance, right? There's no clear set in stone answer. Like I feel like I'm just going back and forth all over the place. But I think it is also important to recognize, like, if you procrastinate, why are you procrastinating? Because, you know, procrastination, it's a stress coping mechanism, though it is a self-destructive one. It's like, you know, it's a loop, because you procrastinate because you're stressed, but then the stress makes you procrastinate more, and it's just, you know, you're just stuck in this loop. But what I have also found is, you know, like if I, for example, I do have the energy, right, even if a test is far away, but I'm like, you know what, let me use this energy now and let me study. And I find that doing that helps, that, you know, when the date gets nearer, right, if I find that, you know, like the night before the test, if I find that, you know, I don't have the energy, or I'm tired, I'm anxious, I can't like engage with the content, when I know that, you know what, I have been putting in the work, even if just a little bit, a little bit, then I know that, okay, you know what, I can take the night off. You know, like I hope that was helpful. Like I feel like these like I'm just being as honest as possible with my answers, because I think a lot of times on the internet people try, like I know a lot of us, you know, we want to project our best selves, and we like to also present ourselves as if we know everything or you're the smartest, most intellectual person. But the truth is, a lot of these things I'm still figuring out myself, and the best I can do is just be as open and as transparent as possible with you guys. And so the last question I have here, it's the last question is, how has your spiritual journey been like for the past 4 years? So I feel like my spiritual journey is something which I do discuss on social media, and also like on my YouTube channel, on the podcast. And so I think most of you guys have like an idea. You've seen like snapshots of where I'm at in different points, and so I think now I'll just try to just summarize. But if you want to get a more in-depth, my podcast, Simply Do the Work, which I've been plugging in this entire video, but link in the description. There, I do have videos where I go even deeper, because like it's a whole 4 years. I won't be able to cover it in this short little Q&A video, but I think the way I can describe it is I've gone from a place of hurt and shame with regards to spirituality and religion, and now into a place of being more empowered, right? And the reason I've had this tension or issues with religions, specifically Christianity, because that's what I was raised on, that's what I am exposed to the most, is because of the church is known for and I'm saying the church, I mean an institution. I don't mean a specific denomination. I just mean like the generalized institution of church. Homophobia, racism, transphobia. Just a lot of bigotry, misogyny, patriarchy, like all of these issues. Those things have made me sort of become distant from the church. And I think the number one thing that helped me is actually like making a stand to leave the church, making a stand like, what, I am not going to engage with these people. And I think even take a break, like even reading the Bible. There's a period where I'm not reading the Bible, not praying, like all the things that I was told that I'm supposed to do, just taking a break, like, what, I'm not going to do this. And then slowly looking at each thing and being like, okay, like, looking at the church specifically, and be, okay, what are the issues I have with the church, and also look not only like a negative, but also the positive. Like, what did I actually love about the church? What did I enjoy from the church? What was meaningful and helpful, right? And seeing how can I still incorporate that into my life, Like till today, like I don't read the Bible as much as maybe a Christian should, but I feel like my faith life, is at the best it's been. It's at its most honest, because I still do listen to podcasts. I read books. And like I found like there's certain artists that I stopped listening to because of the fact, Christian artists, because of the fact that I don't agree with their beliefs and all of that. But also it's just being gracious with myself, because I think also it's not about having a set rules, but I think just trying to live, I think figuring out what are my values, what are the ethics that I hold, and making that the priority. And also I think just seeing how do I treat people, how do I treat the environment, and that has sort of been the journey for me, dealing with the pain, dealing with the trauma that I've experienced, and also, learning about the greater systemic issues and seeing, okay, how have I been a part of the problem, right? And also seeing, okay, how can I be part of the solution? I think I could go on and on about this, but like as I said, like on the podcast, I do have podcast episodes where I talk about this a lot more, like the different issues in the church, my views on them, how I'm navigating that. But this was just me trying to condense the past 4 years, because a lot has changed in the 4 years. Even the pandemic has really, it also was a period of introspection for me, really, because I was literally, stuck at home, like I wasn't having any classes. So what else were you going to do except, question and ponder on the meaning of life, the meaning of what you believe, and the state of the world. I mean, also, there's so many issues that are facing us right now, like not only in South Africa, but in just the global context. So much injustice, right? So many people are being oppressed and brutalized, and I think that's just something that we always have to just contend with. And so on that note, thank you so much for watching this video, and thank you so much to everyone who has been patiently waiting for my return. I do hope you guys will continue supporting me. I hope I didn't lose you guys. I hope I didn't offend you guys while I was gone, and I hope you guys are you can understand where I'm coming from. And if you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section down below, and also reach out to me on Instagram. I will try to get a lot better at responding to comments and DMs. That's a whole other issue, but I'm dealing with it. I'm working on it. Thank you so much, and until you guys see me in the next one, I love you so much. Bye guys.